Hey everybody, good late afternoon or early evening on this Christmas day. We're coming at you with Snap Count Monday, a little bit later than usual. It was Christmas. I took a little bit more time than I usually do to make these videos, but I did want to at least get this one out before the end of the day. So, Snap Count Monday. How did we do against the Titans? Overall, I would say pretty good. I do have some little points of confusion. But in terms of the objective stuff, we did all right. Not great. Still allowing too many long drives because we can't stop the run. Still allowing too many third down conversions. But the upshot is that our third down conversions on offense were actually pretty good. So it kind of evened out. So let's take a look here. Starting with the offense, like we always do, we had 62 snaps. 62 offensive snaps. Decent number, pretty workable. Not the best, not the worst. Decent. I would have liked better against a team this injured, but 62 is not bad. How did we split it up? We had, let's see here, Ken Walker had 36 snaps, and Charbonnet had 26 snaps at running back, and that's almost it. DJ Dallas had one snap. It seems to me that Charbonnet being in is a pretty strong tell that it's going to be a pass play. Charbonnet was in the game for 26 snaps and he only had 2 actual carries. So that is kind of maybe being a problem. Maybe it makes us a little too predictable. Maybe it makes us a little too easy to read as a defense. When Charbonnet's in the game, you know it's going to be a passing play. Maybe we need to get off of that a little bit. I don't mean we have to do it a lot. Got to do it some though, but it's very weird to have a running back play 26 snaps and only get 2 carries. And both carries come at the end of the game, inside of the 2-minute warning. So, yeah, Walker gets the lion's share of the carries, which makes sense in a game that never really got away from us. You would expect Walker to lead the team in running back snaps at the very least when the game isn't like a blowout. So, makes sense, more or less. I just think we need to do slightly different things with the balance when these guys are in the game. Okay, wide receiver, we have of 62 snaps, 55 Metcalf, so most of the game, not the whole game, but most of the game. Tyler Lockett, 50 snaps. Makes sense that he's starting to get his snaps pulled back a little bit compared to Metcalf, because we are, I think, starting to see Lockett. He still is capable of playing very well. He's capable of having very good games, but I feel like he's not a guy you can depend on to be great in every game because he is getting older. And he's not somebody you can depend on to bring it every single snap because he's getting older. So starting to reduce that load a little bit. Next year, we're probably going to have to do it even more. JSN actually had his snaps pulled back just a little bit in this game compared to the usual. Made way for some more heavy tight end stuff. 39 snaps out of 62, so still well more than half the game. But this was the first game in quite some time that he didn't play at least 40 snaps. So a little bit of a pullback, but not a huge one. And the way that game was going, it kind of made sense for us to put more tight ends in the game, even though we didn't actually use tight ends more as targets. But yeah, 39 snaps. Jake Bobo had 16 snaps and made he made a couple plays, but one of them referees didn't give him any credit on. And Derek Young played 1 snap, as he kind of always does when he's healthy, it seems like. So yeah, wide receiver room, everything lines up, everything makes sense. Pretty good over here. Tight ends, this is interesting. This is where I'm a little bit surprised, a little bit maybe even confused. Noah Fant, 47 snaps. By far leading the team at the tight end position. Colby Parkinson at 23. Will Dissly at 16. Again, Dissly, like, it's very weird to me that we would give him that contract and then not use him. We're barely using him lately. Again, my only good theory is that he's hurt. And they're not putting him on the injury report because it's not that kind of injury, but he just doesn't have much left in his body, and he's going to retire in the offseason because his body's just too beat up, but he wants to finish out this season while he's here, but we can't play him that much because of how beat up he is. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because 16 snaps is not that different than 0 snaps for a guy like Dissly. So I don't know what's going on there. Parkinson getting 23 snaps, okay. I mean, probably should be a little bit more, but that's not really an issue. Noah Fant getting this many more snaps than our other 2 guys is kind of crazy, especially because I don't think Noah Fant had a catch in this game. I don't know if he had a target. We didn't utilize him at all, really. He was not really part of the game plan. So I look at this and I go, hey, what are we doing here with Noah Fant? What, if he's going to be in the game this much, how do you go 47 snaps on offense without Noah Fant getting a single? I don't think he got a target, and I'm almost positive he didn't have a catch. That's weird. All right, so that's tight end stuff. Little bit imbalanced here, but again, I think there might be some stuff going on with Disley beyond our knowledge. Offensive line is going to be pretty simple. Cross, Lewis, Brown, and Lucas played every snap. The only injury we had on the line that affected the snap count, Bradford played 48 snaps and missed 14, and for those 14 snaps, we got Jason Peters. Didn't seem to me that either guy was particularly good. Our interior offensive line as a whole was pretty bad in this game, especially given the level of competition. But at least we kept things relatively healthy for this game. Oh, and also Bradford came back by the end, and he seems like he's at least fine. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because let's be real here, Bradford's played miserable football lately, but I'll take what I can get when I can get it, and at the very least, he should be available going forward. Okay, defense. Let's go over to the defense. 66 snaps, so very close to parity. Defense played a few more snaps than the offense, mostly because of that final drive with less than a minute left. So I'd say that's pretty reasonable. Again, in a game like this where you're playing a bunch of backups, you want it to be more in your favor, but it wasn't. And I do definitely think we should have been able to do a little bit better than that. But at the same time, I don't think it's bad. And I also understand there were some extenuating circumstances. Like there were many very bad calls that affected our ability to stay on the field versus our ability to get off the field on defense. Okay, so defensive line, we got Draymond Jones playing 47 snaps, a lot of them at edge. He had a pretty decent game, I think. So I don't know where we are with Draymond Jones as a long-term piece on this team, but I'm pretty ambivalent on it. I think he's played okay this year. I don't mind if he sticks around next year, but if we do decide to just pull the plug on the experiment, I'm not going to mind that too much either. But he's been asked to do some interesting things this season ever since we lost Nwosu. And the fact that he's not filling that role perfectly is not super surprising to me. So I don't think it's all on him. I also think it's just on circumstance. Jaron Reed and Leonard Williams play most of the game on the defensive line, which that's just the way it's going to have to be. Reed plays 53 snaps. Williams plays 49 snaps. That's just going to have to be the balance, I guess. Can't really do anything else. So, yeah, it's just going to be the way this team is built until next year when we can maybe build out this offensive line a little bit better. Mario Williams plays 20 snaps, and I think he played a pretty good game. Cameron Young plays 16 snaps, which I like that. I like that. Hopefully, going forward, we can find at least that many snaps per game for him. It shouldn't cost us that much to put a guy like a Cam Young out there for 16 snaps a game. Just not we're talking not even a quarter of the game here. And to my eye, he's played okay when he's been in there. So I don't mind this rotation. I wish we had Mike Morris healthy. He would help. I wish Monet was healthy. I wish we liked Adams a little bit more than we do. But this is not too bad. This is not too bad at all. All right, so that's the defensive line. Linebacker, first of all, we have the easy part at the linebacker position. Wagner plays every snap like he pretty much always does, all 66. So that's the easy part. The hard part will be what happened with Jordan Brooks in this game. So Brooks played 10 snaps, got hurt, didn't come back. Devin Bush went in, ended up playing about 40 snaps. You can see that we played a lot of snaps without the second inside linebacker, and it was just Wagner, which makes sense in a game where you're missing one of your starters. I'm sure that wasn't part of the plan. Devin Bush, not great, not bad, just kind of okay. Again, I don't think this defense is any good. I think this defense is pretty miserable at football, and I'm not going to hold it against Devin Bush if he can't look excellent when he gets thrown to the Wolves out there. But I do think you see that Brooks is a better player when you compare the two on a one-to-one level like this. So 40 snaps for Devin Bush, 10 for Brooks, and get better Jordan Brooks, because we need you, man. We need you. All right, so that's linebacker, pretty simple. Edge, Boye Mafe, 54 snaps. He plays basically the whole game and balls out. I wish we could find a way to balance this out better, but it just that possibility doesn't exist right now. It just doesn't. Daryl Taylor, 25 snaps, which is better than last week. I think that kind of confirms that we just did not want to play Daryl Taylor against teams like the Niners and Eagles who would take advantage of him. We want to play him against teams that, at the very least, are going to play a little more straight up and not going to make life impossible for Daryl Taylor. Now, Taylor didn't play a very good game here either. He definitely looked bad on some of these plays. But it's not as bad as it would be against a team like the Niners or Eagles, so you're able to get him out there a little bit more. I think that's good. 11 snaps for Derek Hall. He actually made a good play in this game, too, so good for him. But still, there's clearly just no trust there, which is very disappointing. He's the guy who we should be looking to lay off of Derek Hall a little bit. I'm sorry, Boye Mafe a bit here, and it's not happening right now. Frank Clark did not play, and that's it for the edge rushers. Cornerback, Woolen plays every snap and played a pretty good game, so that was very, very encouraging. Very excited about that. Still some stuff to work on, but realistically, that's stuff that's going to have to be held out for the offseason. Mike Jackson, 43 snaps. Trey Brown, 23 snaps. Kobe Bryant plays 22 snaps and really did not look good. And Artie Burns played 49 snaps. So we were kind of mixing and matching a little bit here to replace Witherspoon, and we did an okay job. Our pass defense did not play badly. A lot of soft coverage that allowed easy first down conversions, but on the whole, can't really say it was all that bad. So that's your cornerback room. I would like to see more Trey Brown out there personally, because I think Trey Brown's played really well this year, and I don't want to get away from that as much as we did in this game, where we're giving almost as many snaps to Kobe Bryant and way more snaps to Burns and Jackson. Like, Trey Brown is the guy who I think has a chance to be a future significant piece on this team. But not too bad overall. Obviously, we're trying to cover for the loss of maybe our best overall player this year, so it's going to be tough. And safety, no Adams, so it becomes very binary. We got Diggs playing every snap, and we got Love playing every snap. And I'm very interested to see what happens next week with the presumed return of Adams. At some point, he is going to come back. And when Adams does come back, how are we going to make this work? Because I don't think we're going to just completely bench him. But there's got to be some way we can make this work, because it's not like Adams is some terrible player. I know he's looked terrible the last couple weeks, both on and off the field. But he's not actually a terrible player. We need to figure out what we can do with him while he's still here, because realistically, we're probably looking at another 3 or 4 games of Jamal Adams on the Seahawks, and then we all get to move on at the end of the season. So, yeah, we need to figure this out. I know we don't want him to get hurt, because that would make the equation all the more difficult, but I don't think that NFL coaches really think in those terms all that much. So, very interested to see what we do there, but next week, that's a decision to make. And yeah, that's it for Snap Count Monday. Let me know what you guys think. Overall, not too bad. Could have been better. Definitely could have been worse. The issues with this team in terms of keeping balance with their snap distribution are things that need to be fixed in the offseason. They're not going to be fixed now. We can't do anything about Mafe playing all these snaps. We can't do anything about the defensive line playing all these snaps. But I do wonder if we're doing the best possible stuff at tight end. Like 47 snaps for Noah Fant, and he's not a part of the passing attack at all is kind of crazy. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Should be streaming on Twitch later. And if I don't see you there, then I should be seeing you sometime tomorrow.